Hey guys, today we're just going to continue a little bit more with slope, add a little bit more to it. Should be easy. I know you guys already know this, hopefully. I'm just reviewing it. So we're going to start by reviewing what we did yesterday. Okay, finding the slope when you're given 2 points. Okay, or you're given the graph. So first of all, make sure you look at it and determine if the slope is positive or negative just by looking at it. Number 2, this line goes uphill, so it definitely has a positive slope. On number 1, that line goes downhill, so it has a negative slope. Okay, so remember that and write that down first and double check it last. Okay, now going back to the beginning, number 1, to find the slope, it's rise over run. So we're going to try to connect this or draw the triangle from point to point. Starting on the left side, we go down 1 and over 3 squares. Down 1 square and over 3, so the slope is down 1, right 3. There's my slope. On number 2, I have to go up. I'm not sure, I can't see it again. Okay. On number 2, I have to go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and over 1. So my slope is up 5 and over 1, and that's positive. And 5 divided by 1 is the same as just 5. So hopefully you remembered how to do those with no trouble. Okay, number 3 and 4, horizontal versus vertical. Hopefully you remembered which one's which. But you can still do the same thing. On number 3, if I try to rise and then run to get from this point to this point, I rise nothing and I run 3. Rise nothing, run 3. 0 on top is okay. It equals 0. And you have to state what it equals. You can't leave it 0 over 3. But on number 4, when I try to do rise over run, starting at this point or any point really, okay, now I have to rise 2 and run 0. If I rise 2 and run 0, 0 underneath is not okay. That is undefined. Underneath is undefined. Okay, so that was a quick review. Now, what do you do if they give you the coordinates of the 2 points instead of the picture? If they give you the graph, I like to just do rise over run. But if they give me the coordinates, I don't want to have to bother graphing it, so we're going to use the formula instead. Well, when you think rise over run, that's what I use when I'm dealing with the graph. Okay, but with coordinates, the formula is easier, and to help you remember the formula, which axis, the x or y, which one rises or goes up and down? And that's y. So hopefully that reminds you that it's the difference in the y's, subtract your 2 y values, and the x-axis is the one that runs, so that you subtract the x's. So that's the formula we're going to use. Subtract the y's, subtract the x's. That's rise over run. So number 5, let me clear this. I'm going to subtract my y values. Okay, that's these guys. Okay, it does say y2 and then y1, but it doesn't matter as long as you do the same thing twice. So you can do 10 minus negative 4, negative 10 minus negative 4, or negative 4 minus negative 10, as long as you do the same order for both the numerator and the denominator to work out. So I'm going to do negative 4 minus negative 10 over 10 minus 7. 2 negatives here in the numerator. These 2 negatives make a positive. Subtracting a negative is the same as adding. So I have negative 4 plus 10, which is 6, and 10 minus 7, which is 3, and 6 divided by 3 is 2. So that one has a slope of positive 2. Now keep in mind, when you do this last step, I got positive over a positive, 6 over 3. But if we had subtracted in the other order, if we had done it negative 10 minus negative 4 and 7 minus 10, then these would have both been negative. But that's okay because 2 negatives divide to a positive 2. Same answer. Okay, so that's why it doesn't matter which way you do it. Just do the same order twice. All right, number 6. Subtracting the y's, negative 15 minus negative 8. And now subtract the x's, negative 5 minus 16. Okay, two negatives make a positive when you're doing the subtracting a negative. So negative 15 plus 8, which is negative 7. And negative 5 minus 16 is negative 21. Please, please, please try not to use your calculator. Try to use your brains. You guys have gotten very good at your negative numbers. Try not to use your calculators. Nobody can check that right now, but to do yourselves a favor, try not to use your calculators. Now, two negatives make a positive. Okay, so I now have a positive answer, which means if we graphed these 2 points and connected them, it'd be an uphill line. And now we can simplify the fraction. 7 and 21 can both be divided by 7. 7 divided by 7 will give me a 1. 21 divided by 7 will give me a 3. So this is 1/3, positive 1/3. Okay? All right, next. And by the way, if you feel like you understand now, you don't have to listen to the rest of this. I think it's getting a little redundant. But what I want to talk about for this one, particularly number 7, can you see that you have two of the same x coordinates? If you have two of the same x's or two of the same y's, you're going to get either a horizontal or vertical line, because when you subtract two of the same number, you're going to get a 0. So you just kind of have to figure out where it's going to be, on the top or on the bottom. So if I subtract rise over run, y's come first. So I do negative 19 minus a negative 18. But on the bottom, negative 20 minus negative 20. Hopefully you don't even have to think about that. When the numbers are the same and you subtract the same number, you're going to get 0. Okay, I will show you that work, but you should be able to see it right away. So negative 20 plus 20, yep, that's a 0, and it's on the bottom. Now I can do the math of the numerator and get negative 1, but it totally doesn't matter, because once I have a 0 on the bottom, I know this is undefined. Underneath is undefined. Okay? If the 0 had been on top, we'd say the answer is 0. All right, the last one, just for more practice. I really don't think you need another example, but maybe it's helping you to see the signs. So let me do this last one. Okay, subtract the y's, negative 18 minus negative 13. Those were my y's. Now subtract my x's, 6 minus negative 6. And make sure you always write 6 minus, draw that minus, negative 6. Okay? In the numerator, two negatives made a positive again. Did a lot of that. Negative 18 plus 13 would be negative 5. In the denominator, this is 6 plus 6, which is not 0. 6 plus 6, so that's a 12. So this is negative 5/12. Okay, hopefully you guys remembered how to do all of that. Hopefully you're doing well, and good luck.